Hello everyone. I've had requests to do a video on how I built my aircraft carrier. So I have kind of pre-set up a little bit of kind of how I get down to the boat. But this is only half of the stairs, so I can show setting up the other half all the way down to the water's edge. First thing I did when I came down here was I laid out the buoyant foundation. Now I went with a 2 wide set of stairs. And I come out. Now this you can go out as far as you, however far you want to go with it. Just make sure you're, depending on how big you're gonna make the boat, make sure you're far enough out that you don't worry about running into things like the rock, the leaf, or these tree roots. Once you have the foundations in place, it'll be pretty easy to come back and do your stairs. Now this is all just getting down here to the water easily. This way, it's a clean run up. You can go wider with the stairs. You can go just one set wide like this, double wide, or even wider. And then I also do handrails as well, because I do have a habit of running the edge or not paying attention when I'm doing sometimes. The trick is to get this to go. It doesn't want to go down the way it's supposed to. If I come in here, you see I'm gonna have that just kind of halfway up in the air. I can then come, and it won't let me do that for whatever. That's not always a problem. You can do that. Now you have handrails to keep from falling in the water while you're running along, or wherever that last one went. Now continuing up, I push it down just a bit and line up that angled section of grass blade with the weed stem. You can then just keep going with kind of a makeshift handrail. Doesn't always want to work. Sometimes you have to kind of make it work. But I mean, it's not huge. Not a huge deal if that doesn't want to take. We're not here for that. We're here for the boat. As you see, because they're floating, you'll look closely, you'll see the actual thing. Pretty cool. All right, now for the actual construction of the ship. The ship has 3 layers, 3 floors. I don't know the exact. We have the very bottom, which is only 2 sections wide, and I turn the floors the opposite direction of the incoming plank, just so I can see what's going on. And this is technically what I would call the center, because there's only one open doorway going into my boat. Now, if you notice in my world, this okay, hello, this little pier coming out to the boat is 3 sections wide, so there'd be another section along here. Well, which you don't have to. I had the space and I did it. So this is basically what I consider the center of the boat, and that's why that is right there. So it's from the center, 7 additional sections to the rear, 7 to the stern, 7 additional sections towards the bow, 15 sections total. So standing on, not counting the one you're standing on, that's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Now that's it. As far as it's going to go, but I will come back and delete some of those here in just a minute, because I of course have stairs in the water. So I should start over here with it. So standing on the center, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, creative one's weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now at the nose, you have to do. Because of course you have the bow come to a point. Now, with the way I have it set up, I don't know how it let me build it, but I managed to build it to where I have the stairs going into the water in my world. Okay. I don't know why it let me do it in my world, but creative is a little bit different sometimes. Well, let's finish with the bottom. Now, obviously, you don't have to have the stairs going into the water. That's just something cool that the game let me do it, so I did it. Now, it's one vertical section of wall, and then it's a bunch of pieces to make that the shape where it opens up as it gets taller. Except for the back of the boat, straight up in the air. Like I said, this area in my game is actually open, so I can come up out of the water, but it will not let me put it in here. So for the purpose of this, I'm just gonna close it. And go ahead and close that in. So at 15 sections from front to back before you count the point. So this is actually a count, I guess, 16. That's the complete underside of the boat. And then to get up to the next level, using scaffolding. That way I can get up here. And the reason it's back one like that is so when you come up, there's space to come up and turn and run around versus running straight into that wall. I have no clue where that last thing went. I think it's outside the boat. I'll worry about that later. And then I'll do the exact same thing. Stairs. If you turn scaffolding sideways, you can come up through this with no problem. But let's get the support walls built up. Now, with this is going to be a lot of inverted roof pieces. By inverted, I mean you're going to have the clover leaves on the inside, the beams on the outside. I don't know if inverted is the right word. There actually is. That way you get that nice point. Keeps going this way. And we're going to use those just so I can then attach regular roof pieces. Now, the nice thing about building like this is you can put the clover leaves in your inventory and you don't have to worry about carrying on your shoulder. Yes, you have to carry the weed stems, but you get 8 weed stems on your shoulder, or 10 if you use liquid, workers' comp, and therefore you can build it pretty quick. There are a bunch of weed stems right by the base of the tree, as well as a bunch of weed stems if you have a zip line set up to bring it over from the opposite side of the pond. That was one of the things I did when I built this. The very first thing I did was get the stern section built all the way up to the top, put a zip line anchor, so that I could get over here as quickly as possible with all of my materials. Now you have those 2 little corners, which thankfully they decided to give us a nice inverted wall piece like that. And then just to make things look pretty. That way as you're going up, there's that. I mean, you could even, if you really wanted to make it, you could go that route as well if you still want. That's all up to you. Now, like I said, in mine, I managed to get the grass. See if I delete that out. Maybe that's. Managed to get a set of stairs take into the water, and maybe it's just because it's creative mode. I don't know, but in my world, there are a set of stairs at each end that let me come straight up out of the water. And there's also a set of stairs down here as well. Now, see, the stairs at stern are always going to be in the same spot in relation to where you come out up at the top. Here, once you get to the part where you're going up to the flight deck, you're not near the bow anymore. The bow is much further out than where you are currently sitting. But everything look pretty. Then you have the same come up here to the top. This is the area where there is all of beds, storage, and everything. Bottom area is pretty small. At first I wasn't using it for anything. Then I got the idea of building 3 little jail cells. Brig. And the brig is actually pretty simple. It's really okay. You don't have to use sturdy walls. You can use a wall. You give a space for the door. I think I had mine further. But this is nothing actually has it stuff. And because I was bored and I was looking for something else to put in here. I had this whole area down here at the bottom not be. Figured why not? But I did this much later on. And of course, you know, crappy. There. This actually might be. That way it gives that jail cell. And one light. Nothing fancy. But this is also just decorative. There's no real use to it. Unless you're playing around the pond and you want to use one. This is your respawn point in case you by Kevin. Named Kevin. He's mean. He used to just grumble. He actually attacked. Even though they said he was going to be hostile. And that's just, you know, quick little brig. Said. And then you go up to the next area. This is where all the storage is at. Normally in creative mode, it's not, I mean, normal mode is going to tell you that's unsupported. So what I had to do is I had to come build these 2 little wings off the edge first. Glued up here. That way I could do the roof section. Because using the roof sideways like that gives you the impression of a ship's hull that it ends out. And it's just roof sections all the way down, basically facing the wrong way. Then it's just, you know, angling these to fit very specific way. That way you can come up to that point. And the same thing, still doing the same thing up here. First. They don't always want to line up right away, so sometimes it takes you gotta wiggle your camera around a little bit to line up. I have one to just randomly put way out here. And then you see you're gonna need some the corner piece fill in the gaps. If not, you will fall through. Yeah, the roof sections are sometimes iffy about lining up correctly. Now I'm going to finish that floor real quick. Problem with clicking fast, I have no clue where one floor just built. Built in here. Maybe it's outside. There it is. And of course, that wall now does. I've done that. Well, obviously there wouldn't be a hole inside the ship. I'm just trying to fix that hole because it would bother me. It's exactly what it was. It was the bed. By bed, I mean. Okay. Replace that section of roof real quick. Sorry about that break from the build. Now you can make this smaller, not so tall. I don't like the look of the. I just don't like how claustrophobic that looks. With it only being one wall section and then a ceiling. I prefer the big open spaces. Just a personal opinion, personal preference. Now we'll go put in the stairs that lead up to the next level floor. Same thing. We it all kind of. Then up here, now this is technically going to be light. So this actually has one floor section that hangs over the back edge of the ship. Remember correctly, I leave that little corner cut out. Think the way I did it was I just did that just based on some I did use a picture reference for some of the shape, mostly the shape from top down. You can see this took a while because I had to bring in so much grass, but that was the whole point of getting the back end built from down here build up this set of stairs, build just enough floor to build this set of stairs, build just enough floor to put zipline anchor somewhere on the ship, and then bring your grass in from, I have a base up there, and I literally would just zipline in from the base. And then this high enough up that I have an anchor somewhere over there on the rock that I could zipline back to it. It was kind of slow, but I got there. I didn't have to swim. I was able to use the zip lines to get my stuff over here quickly. So once the zip line was up, it made the build go that much faster because I didn't have to constantly run back up that way towards the tree, which you see a lot of weeds right over here by the tree. Mine don't regrow anymore, and I was even cutting down these weeds in the water, but they were a pain in the butt to pick the weeds up because, you know, I had to push them to the door. Now all of this is literally just going to be closed in. And I do know that the proportions are nowhere near what they should be, but, you know, this ground only have so much to work with as far as materials and even the angle of how we can lay out the. Now, when building the nose, it took me a while to get the angles just right because, you know, it's pretty wide up here at the top, and then all of a sudden it tapers down to that very telltale point. You know, that really squared off nose into the ship. Obviously, I'm going to make that come right off the center. And it does go off the end of the boat quite a bit. Now that's probably about as far as bring that. And then just to get that angle in using the floor. Now you see, this is where the nose of the ship comes together, the actual hull. Then I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm actually going to go 7 floor sections. Right off the nose, too wide. You can see where the that meets together. Then have it where it sticks free off the edge. Now you can either build out the nose and then go backwards. Probably be a little bit easier. Come up here and be like, all right, go back 3 on the 4th one, go that way. And then on the opposite side, because they're not even. They are offset. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then right here, going backwards, how I'm going to build this end. Now I have that one spot in position, and I know that I just need to angle it. Do that right there. And with the angled, with the marker set, that's what that is, basically, marker. Then come back and that is your overall basic shape. Now, I do have to rip out part of the floor here. I figured exactly where it's at for the stairs. So now I'm going to drop back in and go actually do the stairs towards the bow. So I like to do my stairs directly on top of each other so as not to waste too much space. And as long as you turn your scaffolding sideways, you can walk through it with no problem. Now you can move your stairs if you want to make them a little bit closer. Like I could probably move that up. Actually, I do believe I have that further up. I'm actually gonna fix that. Just because space doesn't seem to be sitting the way I thought it should, and I understand why. I had this set of stairs too far back. Because when I come out of the water at this end, I'm literally right here into the nose and have to wrap around. Because even though it is a big build, the inside is still kind of small, so you still have to be in just the right spot. A certain. I'll go over that. The last one's over. Then I put handrails in just to a little safety. When you're down at the nose, that's basically, you can push it all the way up to here. Obviously, you can't go any further because of the floor. I would push that all the way to where your scaffolding is right up against where you go from the sidewall to that angled wall. It's all gonna be right. All gotta fit just the right way. Now that means I could technically move the brig over one. So basically have off the stairs 1, 2, and start the brig right here. That way I also have 2 spaces down here at this end. That's why it was throwing me off when I first built it, was I had this set of stairs in the wrong spot. So this brig should actually be starting right there. When you come off the stairs, you have these two empty spaces to get around, and then brig. I'm just gonna basically here. You know, quick fix. I know it's getting dark in the video. I know it's getting late. I am waiting on time. Matter of fact, I have light. Instead of redoing. And you could, if you're having issues getting that blueprint to take, or if you just don't feel like to have to. Somehow. Take. I needed that to take so I could sleep. All right. Well, if it won't take, oh well. Fine. So you basically have your 3 scale cells, brig. You know, I do have the numbers on kind of backwards. I was going to fix. There. So that makes more sense to me why I was having issues, because I have the stairs, 2 spaces, this area, like I said, it's all decoration. Don't forget the roof, or else it's not very secure. Anyway, going up to the top, your flight deck, which I then surround the whole thing with brig rails. If not, you'll fall off in the water and the butt to get back up. The next thing was the sleeping area. You know, if I noticed when I came down, there is an armor dummy right in your face right here. So I went with 3 sections. Oh, I don't know why I did that. Glued a back wall. I don't remember who. I think it's 4. Bunk bed. Closest thing I could get. Now, if you space them out enough, you could actually put the chest that I have right next to them. But this is all kind of overkill as far as using, because those beds are they're not cheap. Doable, they're not cheap. Always fun when it's up. And I use the window stem walls here just because they're cheaper. Too. There's some walls inside. I need these. Don't need. One needs to be right here though. So this is where I make the little wall locker box. In a video I posted about storage options. You just come back through, and like I said, this is all overkill. This is for aesthetics. And I'm not being super precise at exactly how I place them. May or may not look the same way that I do my base. I have a random desk. Chair that in box. And you put lights, you can put weapon weapon racks in here. So you keep your shovel in here for going after like phones and stuff. Different things that you put your armor dummies out here. You can put your armor dummies pretty much anywhere. I have mine right here just because that's where I put. With lights, I mean, lights pretty much everywhere in my work. I don't do lights in between each one. I do lights in every other one. Not really bright. Bright in. Along with more lighting. Light box, maybe. Lights above the desk. That's how I built. That's how I set that up. It's pretty quick, and it makes a really cool square up on the light deck, which I did for setting up my mushroom garden. Keeping the floor in the same orientation down here. And I had a get randomly placed right right here. Now this is all extra space that I don't use, but good if you wanted to. And the same thing. You put a whole bunch of boxes right along here. You can then however many shelves you need. I don't think I have it. More boxes up above. You can put your spinning wheels underneath. Bunch of lights. Pick a light here. Oh, it's, you know, and more lights along the way. I have my workbench right here, close to the boxes. I have to get supplies out of the box stuff. And of course, every base has a smoothie station. Like I said, you can do your box. I'm not going to do all the boxes for the video just for the sake of time. And you go all the way across. Obviously, you don't want it sticking out like that. You want it back there. So that's when you would just take your time. Make sure you build the floor, complete the floor first, before you lay the blueprints on it. That way, you're not blueprint inside of where. Point putting a light. And then up on the flight deck area, like I said, I'm not going to go around the whole thing video, but in real world, real game, I have this all the way wrapped around. I don't fall off. Now, the trick is finding the exact center again, which is right here. So looking towards the shore, I know that it's the right side of the set of stairs. So it's this section. And that then tells me exactly where I need to start my tower or my bounce web zip line. And I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm only going to do about maybe 6 levels. I do have a video. I'll put that link in the description below for bounce web tower. Explaining why I prefer 6-sided for any other setup. Actually, I'm not going to be tired. Just so the video doesn't get too long. Tower. And then you would keep going. Add more walls, put the bounce up here, jump up, and this same floor setup, one regular floor and 2 corners, would be after you go up 3 more, another set right there. Now, see, this is different, so I'm gonna have to go down there and fix it. I want that nice square up there. I actually want that to be there on purpose. Because then, with it set up this way, now I know probably many people don't use their mushroom gardens anymore. This is a great little spot for mushroom garden, and include a nice closed garden area. And you can fit 3 side of the whole walkway. And yeah, that's and spacing them out a bit so that you can get lights. I'm only going to do this side. I'm not going to actually do both sides. Side to show. See, I definitely have a lot of light. It does get dark up here on this thing at night. And then the way I set up the right side, you would just duplicate that on the left side. You know, I said I wasn't going to do this. I realized I want to do the pallet storage on here too. Just a small example. I'll run off or walk sideways off. Yep. So in my world, I have it every 3 pallets. I stop, a little space, a light. Just because I have them so spread out without the light, it get really dark. I'll do 3 real quick. And then I keep going. I have, I think that's 6. I have a total of 12 of those on my boat. And then from the opposite end, kind of did the same thing with the grass pallets. Here. And the same thing. I do 3, then I leave a gap, put a light. And I'll do 3 more. And I think I have 6 or 9 on my ship with 12 weed stem pallets, mostly full. And then over here on this side, kind of across that I wasn't. I still let me put that because of the bounce webs, or delete the bounce web. I could place that, but I would go to tanks. I have water tanks everywhere. I like to have a water tank. I had 1 or 2, but it's a good spot to have 2. Then I just took and placed these along the edge. And you can just attach the lights directly to them, so you don't need to leave a space between them for the lights. You want to put lights there because you can put lights right here on them. So, and I have 4 mine, which is far more water than I ever. But play multiplayer and you coming in, they go through the water a little bit. Lots of water. Then on this side, I am wanting on. I put these down just so I can make sure that everything kind of makes sense. I know, like behind the water, the dewdrop, like they Those block you from being able to walk off the edge. Same with these guys. Because you can turn tadpoles into jerky. It's a good idea to have a bunch of these. You go down there, kill a bunch of tadpoles, meat up, throw it on the jerky racks, and you food. Maybe if I squeeze one of those in, maybe you can rotate this one sideways just a bit of fifth. That's however many you want to put. That is the basics of how I built it. You know, it's got a lot of open space. Yes, there's a lot of just open area up here, but you never know when they give us more stuff to build. I've got space already in the bases ready to go. So that is how I built my aircraft carrier, and that is pretty much, other than the wet entry not being a thing, being a creative mode, I can't put the stairs down into the water right here because my game there are stairs that I can attach to go down into the water. But in creative, it's not like, I don't know if it's just the way I originally built the floor, because it was not originally built with buoyant foundation, built with regular grass right at the water. Yeah, because my buoyant foundations are actually further into the water. That is how I built my aircraft carrier. Looks pretty much the same, other than the fact that the tower is nowhere near as tall enough. But if you guys like what you saw and you would like to see more content like this, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Hitting the subscribe button, you will be able to get notifications when I go live on my YouTube channel, which I've been streaming on that the last few days, and I plan on continuing. You can catch a live stream if you like. Come in, stop by, ask questions, just hang out for a bit. But until the next video, y'all have a good one.